It's a late evening. The day's events are weighing heavy. You are absolutely over it. Your libido, redlining. Lust unleashed at hazardous levels. The young lady leaves sidewalk.
She was a prostitute, a working girl, caught in a world of danger and disease, where she was disposable and despicable, and chaos was more predictable than peace.
She leisurely leans in car window and releases an offer you can't run off from. Seduction sits in passenger seat and proceeds to solicit sex acts.
She embraced the illusion of control, choosing instead to play the role of seductress, siren, courtesan, and Jezebel. Anyone but victim of her own private hell. She was good at what she did. She was the best. But she hated who she was. She was a mess.
Amazing how deep her eyes gaze made you feel like your soul was infiltrated. But what if you knew those seductive eyes were the cry wells of an abducted woman? That her real voice has been voided and what you're hearing has been forced by abusive fools? What if you knew that she had a quota to make and you're not even a quarter of it? A quarter of a mile down the street, she was just treated like roadkill by another satisfied customer. In the last 48 hours, her skin has been the release canvas for over 40 men. That entryway that you're so eager to enter feels injured from all the inconsideration she's endured.
You see, she could have been a doctor, a politician, a teacher. She could have been a preacher. Straight A's, honor roll, and star athlete. She was the golden one. So, how did she become the prodigal child sowing oats that had grown wild? Well, she'd been abandoned and neglected, left unprotected from predators of sex. And it was only natural that she became next.
What if you knew that her two offspring were attached to puppet strings being controlled by her trafficker? And if her behavior wasn't exactly what he asked for, those puppets' next performance could be on the neighboring corner? What if you knew she didn't like you at all? You were just a means for survival. Without your support, her poor body may be beaten like bass drums. The fear of God drove her to take that drive with you, and while you're driving through her, she dissociated to drown out the pain.
Trapped under faceless groans. Her moans mistaken for desire, yet filled with pain and shame, rose higher than any pleasure that could have ever came. Her thoughts escaping to another place, anywhere but beneath the grunter whose sweat wet her face. There was nowhere safe.
What if you knew that person you just paid for abused a Schedule 1 drug before scheduling with you because it makes it easier to mentally escape rape? Any instance where one is forced to forfeit their body against their mind's will should be considered rape. But because you didn't help craft the conspiracy and played the position of being persuaded by a willing participant, you may escape with lesser charges. But what if you knew she never wanted you? And trafficking was controlling her actions, which you still willingly engage like it's consensual, or would your morals kick in?
She felt dirty inside, like the core of her was stained, ashamed of where she'd been and how far she had to go. Angry that change came so slow, and scared to let others know of her struggle.
Would it matter enough for you to pay attention? Would you begin sourcing help sources? If within your power, would you initiate policy to aggressively police the problem? Would it become a priority or just another pandemic that we sit and wait and see if it passes? What if you know?
What if you knew?
What if you know?
What if you knew?